Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. I'm very excited about tonight. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. So this is a spin-off of Fast and the Furious, which I love those movies. You know, they can make as many as they want. I still am entertained by every one of them. I don't know how I'll feel about this one. This is a spin-off with The Rock and Jason Statham. So I didn't even read the synopsis on it. I don't even know what it's rated, to be honest with you. I'm just going to watch it. I can tell you it's 2 hours and 9 minutes long. And it stars The Rock, Jason Statham, and I thought I saw Michael B. Jordan on the cover. So, you know, Creed. So let me get into it a little bit, find out a little bit more of what it's about. But I'm really excited. I have pretty high expectations. I hope it's a lot of fun. But I'll check in as soon as I figure out what the plot's about and let you know what it's about. And then ultimately let you know what I think about it. So stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, let's do a quick check-in here. We're watching Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. We're at the 51-minute, 16-second mark. First thing I have to do is correct the other actor in this. It's Idris Elba, and not Michael B. Jordan. Apologize for that, but Idris plays the villain in this. He's some kind of like Terminator super villain that is like indestructible. That is one thing about this movie. I want to say high tech. You know, it is like super high tech and everything like that, and like unbelievable stuff. Like one piece. And I guess when they're jumping they're driving a car and jumping buildings, that's a little bit unbelievable, as it has been progressing to, but this one is too. You know, it's a lot of stuff like that, where they're running down the side of like a 50-story building, you know, just with a rope, and they're just running down. That kind of stuff, that unbelievable stuff. Which, you know, some of it's fun, some of it's just like, eh. Anyway, the story is Hobbs and Shaw are two different members of the I want to say military, but you know, Secret Service, something like that. They're cops and they're law enforcement in different parts in London and the United States. Okay, but they're the top people in their industry, and so they've been recruited to help with this villain, and that's Idris Elba is trying to get it's a virus that basically turns your insides to liquid, and if once it gets activated, it can go in the airborne, and it can, you know, pretty much take out all of mankind. And so he's trying to get this, and meanwhile this girl is protecting it, or also trying to steal it, and I'm not sure, but she ends up with it by injecting herself with it. So she has it inside of her. So, you know, she's trying to keep it away from the bad guys. We're not sure what her motive is just yet, but Hobbs and Shaw are then recruited to go and find her and get the virus so they can protect it as well and stop the bad guys from trying to get it. So, and it turns out that she happens to be Shaw's sister. Helen Mirren's in this, that's his mom. And so, so they end up, they have to work together. And of course they don't want to. So there's all that back and forth between the two of them who don't like each other, but yet they're trying to work together to save his sister and save the world, kind of thing. So that's really what it's all about. I love, Ryan Reynolds is in it. So he's like he's Hobbs' handler. And, you know, I love the back and forth. He's fantastic. He's always good in just about anything. So I enjoy that aspect. I like it. I like the back and forth between the two of them. You know, the banter. So I like that, and I like the humor in it. I like a lot of the action. Some of it's cool. You know, I love the McLaren. So Shaw drives a McLaren, and they're, you know, driving through the streets of London, I believe, or whatever. You're being chased by people on motorcycles. Kind of fun and exciting. But some of the scenes where it goes way over the top, like stuff like running down the building, you know, 50-story building. It's like, you know, and then, you know, they're just jumping out the building and landing on them. Like, you know, when people jump out of airplanes with no parachutes, kind of thing. But they're going down the side of a building. Like, that stuff is a little far-fetched. I get some things I like, but some things, they're way over the top. So far-fetched that it makes it silly. But that's the only aspect of it that I don't like so far. Otherwise, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's action. It's humor. And we'll see where it goes. It's still over an hour left, so there's a lot more story to go. and I'm sure there's going to be more of the same. But what I'll do is, if anything interesting happens again, I'll check in and let you know that something interesting happens. If not, I'll see you at the end and give me my final thoughts. But so far, it's worth watching, I think. Alright, that's it. I'll stop rambling on and I'll get back to it. See you in a bit.
I love you, Babushka.
Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Fast and Furious presents Shaw and Hobbs, or Hobbs and Shaw, what was it? Hobbs and Shaw. I really enjoyed it. I liked the movie a lot. I thought it was good, and I think it's important for any other viewer when you go into it. It's not about the storyline and the plot. Who cares? They're two cops who have to catch bad people. Whatever. That's all you have to worry about, It's more about the humor, the acting, the action, So that's what if you go into it with that and not being like, oh, I hope the storyline makes a lot of sense, that kind of thing. Not that it's not that. It doesn't make sense, but I don't care. I don't care about the storyline in these types of movies. This is not a plot-based movie for me. I found it to be funny, as I had mentioned before. I liked them acting together. I thought they did well together. I liked the sprinkle in of Ryan Reynolds, of course. The only thing I didn't really like was the absurdity of some of the things. But you go into that knowing that that's there, some of the things that defy physics, one like, I don't even want to explain it. You'll see it when you go through it. That's the only thing that I don't like about it. I think if they would have toned that down slightly, because you want some cool stuff. They're trying to, do something that wasn't done before, because how many times are you going to do different action scenes and stuff like that? And so some of it was okay, but there are some things that are really off the wall, and that's it. That's the only thing I really didn't like. Oh, and the other piece was the Samoan dance. Not that I have anything wrong with Samoans or anything like that, but like when you're going to war against like MI6 or whoever it was that they're fighting, you're not going to be doing a Samoan dance. That's, But all that aside, this is a good movie, and I hope they continue to make more. I don't know what else they can do, because I figure it's going to be the same kind of storyline, but now they're kind of friends. So it starts off that they weren't friends, and they hated each other, and the movie is about them building a relationship together, as you can imagine. So now how do they make a sequel of this when they're friends? And maybe it'll work like that. Maybe they can come together and make it even better. Writers are out there pretty ingenious, and I'm sure they can. They'll probably come up with a silly plot, but how do they now take this? How do they take their relationship to the next level? So that's my thoughts on this one. I'm probably going to give it a 7. It's close to an 8 for me, but the absurdity and some of the other little things that you'll notice in here, the CGI and stuff like that, the fake backgrounds, that kind of stuff, keeps it from being an 8 for me. But everything else that I wanted was in it, and it was worth watching. Oh, I forgot. I kept talking about Ryan Reynolds. Another cameo in here was Kevin Hart. I thought they could have explored that a little bit more, and maybe they will. Maybe in the sequels they'll bring those two back in, Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart, and they can play a little bit more of a prominent role. You don't want too much, I think you got to focus on The Rock and Jason Statham, and you don't want to take anything away from there. But they could sprinkle a little bit more of these guys in, not too much more, but a little bit more, because I enjoyed them. If you put too much in, it's not going to be as good. So. Maybe that's what they'll do with the next one too. Maybe other cameos of funny people, because I enjoyed that part of it. Alright, that's it. I'm sorry I'm rambling on. Go check it out. If you like the Fast and the Furious, if you liked these two as actors, it's definitely worth seeing. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your comments. And thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.